Hello, good afternoon. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. First hard fact of the day, we're getting reports of some sort of showdown near Second Rainbow bus stop. The reports claim Okada riders have allegedly set fires on the road in a showdown with police. If you're in the area or you passed that area, when you give us a call, tell us what you witnessed and also stay safe out there, everybody. One great way to stay safe is actually to listen to Hard Facts for breaking news. I have a great show for all of you today. We're going to kick off with the big three. Let's talk about the Lagos State budget's provisions for training in tech and movies. Then, let's talk about President Buhari signing the BOFIA Amendment Bill into law. That's the Banking and Other Financial Institutions Act. There's some debate in the banking and finance sector about whether the act is a new positive or negative. And then let's talk about the debate over girl child versus boy child education. There's a conversation raging on Twitter, at least it raged this morning, it was quite big. So I'll bring that conversation to you and hear what you think. Now, remember, you can talk to us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. We're streaming on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. We're also streaming on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. Big three is supposed to end early because it's Tuesday. We're hoping that at 3:45 we'll have a fintech on the show, the fintech show with Tunji Andrews. He'll bring you fintech today, hopefully. But we're going to move on to Community Report at 4, where we talk about the state of the roads in Bagada. I understand Chukudi will have members of the community right here on the show talking to you. On the big hard fact, let's talk about the aftermath of 20th October. It's been exactly 4 weeks since the Lekki tollgate shootings, and since then, a lot has happened in the public discourse about NSAS. You just heard the news today where the president was saying he's not going to allow another NSAS protest occur, and youth will be carried along in decisions being made by the government to prevent another NSAS protest happening. You also heard that African Shrine and the Anikulapo family were sent a letter from the police telling them to not meet about NSAS. So we're going to talk about the latest things. We also have a protester who was granted bail today without being charged. And CSP James Nwafo, formerly of SARS, is being accused at the panel in Oka. We'll also talk about the army testifying about the shooting itself here in Lagos. So much happening since October 2010, 2020. I'll be joined by Inibehe Efyong, a lawyer. I'll also be joined by Tokwe, another lawyer. Now, you get news updates on the hour every hour. After the news at 6, let's talk with Rufai. Conversations will happen at that time. Now, of course, you have to listen to the entire show if you'd like to play just a minute. But let's bring you today's Big Three.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, Lagos, we've got WhatsApp, by the way. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. In what ways can the Lagos State government boost employment in tech and entertainment? In what ways can the Lagos State government boost employment in entertainment and tech? Is BOFIA good or bad for banking? BOFIA, is it good or bad for banking? We'll have that conversation in a bit. We're also going to find out from you if your parents could only afford to send one child to school, would it have been you? If your parents could only afford to send one child to school, would it have been you? We'll have that conversation right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Lagos State wants to create more jobs in techs and the movies, and that's our first story. So, this morning, Sheriff had a great conversation with the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Mr. Sami Gube. By the way, if you don't start your day with Sheriff on the morning crossfire, you are sleeping on a bicycle. Sheriff always brings the stories that everybody in your office will be talking about for the rest of the day, or in the market, or in the bus, wherever you are. So you need to start your mornings with the morning crossfire. If you want to be the most informed person wherever you are, then of course that's the show that you should be paying attention to. So anyway, they talked about the budget. They covered a lot of ground. They talked about a lot of things. You can actually catch that interview on our Facebook or YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3. And they spoke specifically about the state government's plans for job creation. And here's what Mr. Egugbe had to say about how their employment strategy is linked to their education strategy.
The first place to start from as to how when we saw NSAS happen and then we saw the riots after that, we did some analysis of it. And apart from the demands that they were making, we were all making, by the way, because we were all part of it, the demands, one of the critical things we observed is that there was frustration in the land arising from unemployment. The unemployment numbers continue to frustrate, right? In terms of holding out there, the population continue to increase, especially in Lagos, where the population grows largely by migration into Lagos, right? Beyond the natural birth process, right? So we felt, okay, where are the major, what are the two main challenges around this? One of them really is training, because a lot of the people are even though they are unemployed, they are unskilled, right? And as part of that unskilled situation which we are seeing, those who are skilled are not particularly trained for what the industry required, right? So you needed to on the technology side, for example, there are gaps. All right, there are needs there to be employed. There are things around cyber security, around digital marketing, skills like that are required. When you then go to places like the Nollywood industry, which is, as you know, Lagos is at the heart of Nollywood in Africa. And when you look at it, you find out that a lot of the education going on focuses heavily on theater arts. Right, on theater. Meanwhile, the growth area is film, right? And they are not exactly similar, or they are not exactly the same, So we felt, okay, we needed to first do something around education, both long-term and short-term. On the short-term, we needed to then create a mechanism around which we will connect our training programs to industry. At the higher level, we train about 100,000 students on coding and different digital skills, covering about 656 public and private schools.
And then you had Mr. Sam Egugbe, who is the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, on the morning show today. Watch the full interview on YouTube or Facebook. By the way, you can still get on Facebook today, where we're streaming this conversation live. So Sam Egugbe is saying a lot of the unemployed are unskilled. And even among the skilled unemployed people, they tend not to be skilled in areas where there are gaps. And he's talking about gaps in two particular industries, ICT and film. Speaking of ICT, remember, we're supposed to bring you FinTech at 3:45 today with Tunji Andrews, brought to you by VBank. I hope that, of course, it does happen, but we'll see. We bring it to you every Tuesday. You get to hear about the great things that young Nigerians are building in FinTech. And that's just one area of ICT and tech. Beyond FinTech, you have areas like agri-tech, enterprise tech, mobility, and so on. And all these fields need programmers, product managers, scrum masters, growth hackers, data scientists, testers, technical writers, so many other skilled workers. And the budget commissioner is saying that we could fill those jobs, but the problem is our unemployed Lagosians don't have the skills. Probably because most parents are telling their kids to go and be accountants and lawyers and doctors or read journalism like me. But anyways, that's why government wants to focus on that. He told us about their plan to train 100,000 students in tech skills like coding. And I want to know what you think about this approach. First of all, do you agree with the commissioner saying these two specific sectors, tech and film, need to be a focus? Film, of course, has skilled work like sound and film editors and cinematographers, etc., etc. But apart from tech and film, are there other areas where you feel Lagos has a competitive advantage and so government should train people for those fields? It reminds me of our conversation yesterday on the Big Hard Fact about the AFCFTA. If you missed that, by the way, you should look for that particular episode on our podcast. Hard Facts is available as a podcast. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. And listen to that conversation I had with the editor-in-chief at Tears. It was great. We were talking about competitive advantage, and my guest, Tokumbo Afikuyomi, talked about Nigeria focusing on tech, on law, on telecoms, banking, and other parts of the knowledge economy. Does that also apply to Lagos in particular, do you think? 0700-993-993-993. You can share your thoughts via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. What areas should Lagos State government focus its skills training programs? How do you think those programs should be run? Should it be through state-owned secondary and tertiary schools? Should government partner with companies that already provide training programs? Is the government on the right track here, do you think? Let's talk to Samuel first. Samuel is in Lekki. Hello, Samuel. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sandra, in as much as I traveled a lot, I actually been to Europe.
Okay.
I've been to South Africa.
Okay.
And sincerely speaking, there's a cliché with our politicians or our leaders. When they tell you Nigeria graduates or are unemployable, it's a lie.
Okay.
The job is not there. Now, the question is this. Where are the big companies or big tech that will employ people? When we were young, banks employ all-level students and they train them on the job. Now, go to South Africa or all these big companies. They have a big factory. They employ people and they put people there. An economy that is waiting for people to educate or to make skill of themselves before the economy is a bad economy. Government should make an enabling environment, invite this company, the business, big business, then employ our people, they train them on the job. Why should the government be asking the graduates or the youth to train themselves before they can make ends meet? No, it's a cliche. It has been going long period of time. And we are buying into that lie. We are buying into it. It's a lie. These people, these government people, they eat money, they destroy the youth, and they are spending money. They are not creating anything. Even the enabling environment is not there. It's a cliche. I hear people say Nigerians are unemployable. It's a lie. When they go to South Africa, Egypt, and what have you, they are employable there. Here you tell them they are not employable. It's a cliche. Please stop accepting that kind of ideas or the information. It's a lie. Ordinary level students could be employed in a food company, in an agri company, train them on the machine, train them on the job. They will get it and they will buy along. It's a cliche. Please stop it. Nigerian graduates, they are intelligent. Please.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Samuel. Thanks for calling. Passionate submission there from Samuel. But hey, Lagos, what areas do you think the Lagos State government should focus its skills training programs? How do you think those programs should be run? Do you think it should be through state-owned secondary and tertiary schools? Do you think government should partner with companies that already provide training programs? Is the government on the right track here? Or do you agree with my first caller, Samuel? Christian in mile 2, welcome.
Yeah, Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Evening.
Yeah, all joy.
I am in the second rainbow. Where this let's go is beyond, is a big problem now.
Okay.
I reported on this guy's show in the morning after Sheriff.
Right.
Now, since 11 I've been here. And now the military men that are here is more or less beyond their control. They are angry. They want to turn into something else. They have 3 stars here, 1 eagle and 1 star and 2 stars. Trying to apologize to these guys to release the road.
Okay.
And they are not willing to.
What happened? What started it?
they said the Lagos State Task Force came to raid bikes this morning, the Okada guys.
Okay.
This morning, and I saw the bikes when I was coming from Oshodi.
Okay.
I saw the team, and now the commandant here, with my presence here, he said he called the Oga, and the Oga called Sawolu. Sawolu said he was going to return the bike, that if you calm down. And since morning, and now those guys are moving in hundreds with bikes and are going to first start police station to go and burn down the station now.
That's happening right now.
Live, this is I am here.
How do you know? How do you know that they're going to go and burn down the station?
That's what they are saying, and they are moving there. The bikes that are here are more than 300 to 400.
Now, let me find out something. Are bikes cleared to run there? Is that one of the places where bikes are cleared to run in Lagos?
Yes, I don't know. If it is that. I don't know the traffic, whatever route. I only know about my area where I stay.
Yeah.
But here, I don't know. But they are always on the express here because there's no route to Apapa. We only take bikes. We bring cars to somewhere in the estate and park in my field, yeah? Then we take bikes to Apapa.
Okay.
So that's all I know.
Well,
some of them go into the estate. First start, Jack and the estate, and so on.
Well, we do hope it will be sorted out in time. Thank you, Christian.
Better settle because anytime 10 o'clock, we now know the soldiers because they are magic at night. We are not safe.
Christian, thank you for calling me. Please try and stay safe out there. We do hope that's sorted before it degenerates any further. Henry, Victoria Island. Sorry about that. Henry, if you can call back, please call back. If you just joined the show, I told you that Lagos State wants to create more jobs in tech and the movies. That was our first story on the show today. Sheriff had a conversation with the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget this morning, Mr. Sam Egugbe, and they talked about the budget and they covered a lot of ground, and specifically they talked about the state government's plan or plans for job creation. And he said that a lot of unemployed are unskilled, and even among the skilled unemployed people, they tend not to be skilled in areas where there are gaps. And he's talking about gaps in ICT and film. And I wonder if you agree with the commissioner when he says that some of these jobs like, let's see, data scientists, growth hackers, scrum masters, product managers, testers, programmers, technical writers, that these jobs can be filled if only we had unemployed Lagosians who had these skills. Let's talk to Chukwebuka in Shomolu. Chukwebuka, welcome.
Sandra.
Good to have you on the show. Good afternoon.
I keep saying not obvious Ezekwesili.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Great. Let me quickly say something about what the caller before the last said concerning what was going on or what is going on right now. Because a friend actually called me from that angle, telling me the same thing. That's an eyewitness.
Okay.
You know, something should be done drastically to avert this, you know, before it happens. I just want to believe God it should be so. Yeah. And then coming to the topic, I mean, I think it would be nice if the Lagos State government, I mean, should do a lot, I mean, you know, to create jobs. Because if you look around today, let me use the issue of the NTAS and then the wanton destruction that happened the last time as a case study. You discover that because many youths were unemployed, they had the whole time on earth to come out en masse, you know, for those who protested genuinely and for those who came out to destroy, all was because they were not gainfully employed. So if they can do that, for me, that would be great. That will be fine. I think it will go a long way to reduce a lot of redundancy, a lot of thuggery, a lot.
Okay.
So I just hope, I mean, something is
that
done.
they do it right. Thank you, Chukwebuka, for calling. We've got Isaac in Festac on the line. Isaac, how are you?
I'm fine, Sandra. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah. So I want to, report according to what the other guy called, says about what is happening going on in Festac.
Okay.
Since morning, I left house around 10 a.m. going to Apapa. But when I get to pick somebody from Kana Estate, I think that person will continue because of hold up. We say, let's take Sele. On getting to Celeste's block, we take Elasa. From Elasa, we connect. We come out to Express again, and run down to take Express to Papa. When we get there, since morning I have been there, it's not moving. Then I take this and I tell the guy that I'm going with that. He should board the bike and go where he's going. That I want to turn. Then I now turned and come out to Apple, close to Apple Junction. I turned from one road that linked to First Stack. The whole road is blocked, and these are Aboki guys. They block everywhere, and they are making trouble. Lagos State government should do something about this before it will escalate.
Okay. All right, Isaac. Thanks for calling. We've got another Isaac in Ikeja on the line. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah. My name is Isaac, and you asked a question right from the beginning of the program that if my parent or anyone parent have to send anyone to a school among the children who will live behind.
If they could only afford to send one child to school, would it have been you?
I would have been the best, but unfortunately, I couldn't. I have never been to school in my life, but I see myself as the best among the children that are supposed to be educated.
Did they send anyone to school?
Yes, 3 of my brothers happened to school.
Did they send any of your sisters to school? Do you have sisters?
Yes, I have sisters, but seems like none of them is really educated. And even the ones that have the opportunity, I don't think they really make anything through can't see anything in them.
Isaac, we're going to talk about that story next, but thank you so much for calling us. That's our second story on the Big Three. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Of painting and mixed media by Aino Felix and Samuel Tete Katchan. The exhibition opens to the public live on the 14th of November 2020 by 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with daily viewings every day till the 21st of November 2020 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The venue remains Alexis Galleries, number 282 Aki Olubade Street off Idowu Martins, Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. And if you can't be there, you don't have to miss a thing. Be a part of this eccentric art exhibition themed colors and hues on our social media live feed on Instagram at Alexis Galleries and Facebook Live at The Home Stores Alexis Galleries. The gallery will be partnering with the Sickle Cell Foundation of Nigeria by donating a part of the exhibition proceeds to its cause, Colors and Cubes, breathing new life to the contemporary art scene.
You don't have to leave home without us again. Listen on the air and online. Just search Nigeria Info FM on the Apple app or Google Play Store and never miss a thing. Your number one station for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Every day, someone stands a chance to be a winner.
Really?
Yes. 50,000 naira every week on Just a Minute Game Show. Just call in to any of our shows. The Morning Crossfire, What's Up Lagos, The Sunny Side, and Hard Facts. Answer as many questions as possible within 60 seconds, and we'll be giving out 50,000 naira every week. Yes! 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 Winners will be announced on Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Just a Minute, the game show for everyone on your number one station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. It's 29 minutes past 3. There's a very interesting conversation happening on Twitter, and I want to bring it here as our second story. Somebody asked a very intriguing question. The question was, if your parents had only enough money to send one child to school, would it have been you? If your parents had enough money to send only one child to school, would it have been you? It's a powerful question if you think deeply about it, because what this person is really asking is, would your parents have thought that you were the most likely among all your siblings to use an education successfully on behalf of the family? Would you have been your family's best shot? You could also look at it another way. The question this person could also be asking is, are you the one your parents would have thought needed education the most? Maybe they would have thought, well, this child will know how to hustle, or she won't need school as much as the others, or this one has a skill. You don't need school, for this particular skill. I don't know. So when you call, I want you to tell me how you think your parents would have made that decision. What factors would they have weighed? Would you have been the one that they sent to school? Or maybe you were in that situation. Maybe you were the one that they sent to school. Maybe your parents had to choose to send some kids to school and not the others, like my previous caller, Isaac Nikeja. Or maybe they put some kids in a better school than others. I don't know. I just really want to hear your stories here. And then another angle, somebody responded on Twitter and said that in most families in her ethnic group, the parents would have chosen to send a boy to school and keep the girls at home. Other people disagreed with her about that. So it made me want to ask what your own village or your own tribe or your own culture feels about educating girls over boys or boys over girls. If your parents could send only one child, just one, Pekin, they have 5, they could only send one. They have 2, they could only send one. They have 3, they could only send one. They have 7, they could only send one. Would it have been you? Why or why not? We've got Altine in Ikeja. I think that's how to pronounce your name. Is that how to pronounce your name, Altine?
Altine.
Altine? Oh, Altine, yeah. Welcome.
How are you, Sandra?
I'm very well. Good to have you on the show.
Good to have you, too. Yes, that question you asked, if my parents were to send anyone to school, would I have been considered? I think I would have been considered because I'm their first child.
Okay.
Yeah, being the first child, I would have been considered because if they decide to have only me without my other siblings, I think I would have been considered.
Okay. All right, Altine. Thank you for calling. I appreciate that. Let's talk to Remy in Akoka. Remy, thank you for calling us. Remy, hi.
Sandra, how you doing?
I'm very well. Welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah. We are 5 in number. 2 girls, 3 boys.
You're 5 in number?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We were all sent to school by our parents. Yeah.
But if your parents could send only one of you to school, do you think it would have been you?
I can't really say yes or no because it's not a culture.
Okay.
In my own family, it's not a culture. My parents were poor.
Okay.
So it wasn't like we had money. There was no money. But they struggled to send us to the school. So most of them, though in my neighborhood, we saw those who that parents only sent 1 or 2 of them to school, either a boy or girl. Even either of them happened to be the bright one among the rest. So you get. So that was the first they made. So my own parents made another choice.
No, I know the choice they made. We're having a hypothetical conversation where your parents did not have enough money to send all 5 of you to school. They only had enough money to send one person out of all 5 of you to school. Would you have been the one? If you don't think you would have been the one, who do you think it would have been and why?
Well, I can't take in that part because that was in my kids. So we were all sent to school. And yes, in the real sense, it even be a debate. Every kid deserves to be sent to school. So you get. So parents with that kind of mindset got it all wrong.
Yeah, we agree with you, but sometimes your mindset and the money no reach.
Why did I have kids in the first place?
Abi?
When they were doing it, were they expecting a refrigerator or a bucket in return?
Abi? So if you don't have money for sending all your children, so you're saying education is a must. If you don't have money to send everybody to school, don't have kids.
Don't bring kids to this world, I beg.
Thank you. Thank you, Remy, for calling. Let's talk to Richard in Lekki. Hello, Richard.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Okay. First of all, my response, I want to say that it's actually a very bad idea for parents to unpick who to send to school because they never can tell what the children will turn out to be later because for example, I would have thought that if my parents were to make that decision earlier, I would not have been educated.
Okay. Why do you think
my younger brother was more like the star in the house.
Okay.
Although it's late now, so it would have been a big loss.
I'm sorry.
He was very intelligent as a young boy, even up to secondary school. He was always the best in the school. So my parents would definitely would have thought that, this one is the one that needed education. But today, to God be the glory. When I was much younger, I was very stubborn.
Okay.
But from university, things changed, and at least, to God be the glory, today I have my professional certification, and I'm not doing badly by the grace of God. And so I would have said it would have been a great loss to my parents
when only one.
If he was the only one educated.
Now, somebody else also gave another angle to that conversation and talked about how in some tribes they would choose to send the boys to school and not send the girls, or in other tribes they would choose to send the girls to school and not send the boys. Does this happen in your tribe or in your ethnic group?
Well, I think that was long before we were born. My mother was a recipient of such a culture.
Okay.
On the bad side of that such culture.
Okay.
Because she never went to school at all because she was a female. The younger ones, all the brothers were educated, but she wasn't educated.
I see.
So I think that the culture had lifted before we were born, so to say.
Okay.
So it was a practice all over.
But not anymore. Richard, thank you so much for calling me. This conversation, we're going to have it again tomorrow at 5, all right? So be here when we do. David in Ebgada, how are you?
I'm very well, Sandra. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm okay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Okay. I wouldn't know who would have been the person that would have been sent to school in my own family.
Right.
You are 21?
Okay. You're what?
Okay. Like they say, it's so cute.
Jesus. What?
So, you cannot understand why I said I wouldn't know who would have been.
Was it from multiple wives or one wife, one woman?
Yeah, polygamous, of course.
Okay, multiple wives.
My mom had 8.
Okay.
So I'm just going to relate it to my dad.
Wait. Calm down first. Your mom had 8?
Yes.
Wow.
4 boys, 4 girls.
Wow. My God. Wow. Now, 21.
So, unfortunately, I'm number 17.
So, if for not be you.
If for not be me. now, out of the 17, the unfortunate part of it is just that I still became the first graduate of the family. So, like the last 2 callers said, if you cannot train your children, please don't have one. My father was a practical example of that. He didn't send any of us to school. We sent ourselves to school. So it's better I have 2, and that's the end of it. I just need 2. I can give up the rest I can.
Let me also ask you what I asked the previous caller.
Okay.
So some person talked about some cultures where they send the girls to school and don't send the boys, or they send the boys to school and don't send the girls. Does this happen in your culture?
I think attention is far more on the male child.
Okay.
But it's not, the female aspect is not pronounced.
Okay.
But in my own culture, attention is far more placed on the male child to the female child. But regardless, I think we are far more civilized now, and I think those culture is gradually winding down, gradually. But it's still there in some. But in my own area for now, both the male child and the female child are actually being educated now.
Yes. Thank you, David, for calling me. I really appreciate it. Let's take a final call from Roland. Hello, Roland. How are you?
Sandra Ezekwesili. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, I want to contribute to your issue this afternoon.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
I love education. My mother loved education. I'm the first child.
Okay.
But they put me in school, but I could not pick up.
Oh, okay.
And the other boys, the girls, most of them, they went to school.
Okay.
When I married, I have two daughters, first and second, and a boy, third. I told them that whatever they did not do, that they will do it for me. But I have a 3 graduate now. Thank God for
Oh,
that.
congratulations! In your culture, do they educate some? Do they prefer to educate boys or prefer to educate girls?
And the former my uncle Sha, he have about 3, 4 girls. He refused to put them for education. They say that if he trade them, when they marry, they will not answer the name of the father again. That one happened for my village.
Ah.
I don't consider that one for my own. I say, since I don't go to any school, any university, all my children must go to university.
I see.
And that's what I did.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling and sharing your story. Like I said, we'll talk about this again tomorrow, 5 to 6. But let me bring you our final story. The president has signed the BOFIA Amendment into law. Some professional groups are not pleased about this. And that's our final story on today's Big 3. So BOFIA is the Banking and Other Financial Institutions Act. It's one of the main laws that governs banking and finance in the country. Now, this amendment that the president has signed is intended to streamline some of the regulatory aspects of banking. But there's some controversy over some of what it says. We even saw an open letter by the NESG condemning the bill. The NESG is the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. Now, let's look at some of the areas of the debate. There's this issue, first of all, of banking license approval. Under the old BOFIA, if the CBN rejects your application for a license, they have to tell you exactly why. But under the new amendment that the president just signed, the central bank may now reject an application without giving a reason. So NESG kicked against that. The Nigerian Economic Summit Group, they kicked against that because they think it gives people in the CBN the power to reject bids without a good reason, just settle scores. That's what the NESG said. Second, there's the issue of what happens if the CBN revokes a license that was already granted. Currently, if a bank thinks that their license was unfairly revoked, they can go to court. And at the end of the case, if they are right, the court can order the CBN to restore the license. We've seen it happen at least once before with Savannah Bank. Remember, their court case lasted for 7 years, but at the end, they won. And CBN had to restore their license. But now, under the amendment, courts are no longer allowed to order that. Now, courts can only order CBN to compensate the ex-bank with cash. NESG doesn't like this because they believe that that means at the end, the CBN will get away with revoking a license wrongly and that the bank owners still cannot get their license back. The Guardian newspaper is one of our media partners, and they're reporting that many people in the banking and investment sectors are worried that this new BOFIA will scare away foreign investors. According to them, the analysts are worried that investors will say, if I use my money to buy a bank in Nigeria, CBN may wake up at any time, revoke my license for no reason, and all I'll get is a refund. All my time spent entering the market will be wasted. Now, of course, there are those who support the new BOFIA provisions. They say that the CBN needs the power to deal with banks quickly so that issues don't drag out, like the one with Savannah Bank. They want expediency. But Tunji Andrews is in here in the studio, and he's a business guy. Tunji, let me get your thoughts quickly on that before I hand over to you to talk to us about fintech today. What do you think? Are these new provisions in BOFIA good for banking or bad?
To be honest, I think the central bank already has too many powers already. Too much power as it is. As it is today, if the central bank finds you without you being able to plead your case, the central bank can't debit you because they already hold your money anyway. So they will just let you know we've debited you. Then you can then plead your case after the fact. We believe in the industry that there has to be a lot more transparency, and banks need to be able to say no to the regulator. When I mean say no, I'm not saying become rogue or go rogue. I'm just saying you should be able to challenge the authority to at least say, we don't think this is the way it should be. But as at today, banks honestly do not have that leeway to be able to go against the central bank as it is. You have to be very bold, and you would need a lot of the Nigerian to be able to do
to get away with it. Well, it's time for FinTech Today. Tunde Andrews is here to talk to you about the latest with Farm Crowdy's big move into financing and insurance. Yeah?
Yes, it's not surprising, but
okay.
We're expecting it. The agri-tech business or the agri-tech industry was beginning to get a bit funny, and then now regulation is entering into the space. So you want to pack your bag and go to the next phase as quickly
as possible. All right, so stay here with Tunde Andrews. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Don't go away.